project. You don't know the process, get about the projects.
What's going on? It's Council Poly Rob, and welcome to the Poly Rob Podcast in short form. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Make sure I hit the notifications, and I appreciate everybody showing love in the comments because you already know I like to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Now, today's topic. First off, I want to say rest in peace to Irv Gotti. Rest in heaven to Irv Gotti. Condolences to all his family, all his friends, everybody who has supported his movement of music and good business. The funeral was just a couple of days ago, and there were so many people at the funeral. I'm pretty sure the way the funeral went was immaculate. Ja Rule spoke at the funeral. A couple other people spoke. I know that was definitely a sad day, but also a celebratory day for Irv Gotti and everything that he's accomplished. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm not here to talk about his passing. I want to talk about how I'm disturbed. I'm disturbed. I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you why. Because in the past couple of years, or let's just say in the past decade, we are starting to lose a lot of our greats, due to, passing away, due to legal situations, due to not making the right choices, whatever it may be. We are starting to lose our greats. So I'm a little disturbed. But in this episode, I want to talk about the art of being a real producer in A&R. I want to talk about that. The lost art of being a real producer and a real A&R. One of the most often misconceptions of a producer is the producer is the person who makes the track, who just makes the beat. So every time you see produced by Pharrell, produced by Kanye West, produced by Irv Gotti, produced by Swizz Beatz, produced by Alchemist, produced by Local Astronauts. See what I did there? People think that those are just the people who do the beat, who creates the musical works, gives it to the artist creates the greatness, and then history is told. That is by far the biggest misconception of what a producer truly is. Because if you're in the music industry, or if you understand how systems operate when you're crafting something, let's just say you're an engineer for a car dealership, or you're someone in business that handles deals and contracts and things like that. When you're in those fields, and of course music and entertainment, you realize that there's more to your title than what it says on definition level. Like whatever the definition is, it's more to it. It's more things that you get added to because of the culture of what we do. You feel what I'm saying? As an A&R, same thing. There's a misconception as to what they do and what they truly, truly do. And I want to talk about a little bit of both, because that's what Irv Gotti was. Irv Gotti was a legendary, still is a legendary producer and a legendary A&R and a legendary executive. I'll get to the executive part in another episode. I just want to talk about the producer and the A&R element. Now, what a producer does is, now let's take the root word produce. The objective is to take all of the elements of what makes a musical work, a song, a record, musical works, anything musical, anything that's formulating into something somebody can play for, pleasurable ear benefit. Their job is to take all of the elements and put it together so it becomes a song. First, there are musicians who play instruments great. There are songwriters who write a great song. There are singers and rappers and performers who can professionally perform the record how it needs to be. There are engineers who understand sound design, who understand mixing and mastering and getting things ready for broadcast radio, for broadcast TV, getting it ready for concerts. Someone like myself. The producer, their job is to take all of those elements that I talked about, the singer, the rapper, the songwriter, the musician, the engineer, take all of those components and mesh it together to make a great song. That's what they do. They take all the elements together and make it a great song. And being a producer is not just relative to music only. There's producers in so many fields. There's producers in movies. There's producers in stage plays. There's producers in, you would have somebody that's on a farm. There would be somebody, if it's a producer on a farm, it's someone who makes sure that they take all the elements of what it takes to produce apples or vegetables or cattle, whatever that is. They put the system together and make it run like a machine, whatever that takes. The farmer might be the producer. The farmer's job is to get the cattle, get the equipment, have some people help them, with the farm, whatever it takes. I don't know. I'm not a farmer, but whatever it takes to take the cattle from point A, which is a full piece of cattle, all the way to the point where it can be sold for profit and be sold to be eaten. Whoever's that main person putting those elements together is the producer. That's what they do. That's their job. So now that y'all get it, a producer takes all the elements and creates whatever the musical IP is. IP as an intellectual property, as in the song, the record, the album, the single, whatever we need to move forward in the music industry. A producer, I bit my tongue. The producer puts that together. Now, A&R, also known as artists and repertoire. Artists and repertoire. The objective of an A&R is to, like a producer, just in a different context, put all the elements together of what the artist needs and what the artists need to do to create the IP or create the image of what the artist is going to become. What their style is, how they dress, how they approach media, how they approach putting their album together, what the album will consist of and sound like, what style do they most feel comfortable with, and what style are they going to present to the world. That's what an A&R does. An A&R is responsible for putting together the elements that makes the finished product of who the artist is. That's what an A&R does. That's the sole job. There's other elements that they may encompass or they may include to get that job done, but that's the job. The producer puts the elements together to make the songs. The A&R makes sure that whatever the artist needs to put together the package of who they are as an artist and as the image and as the brand in its totality, that's what the A&R does. Now you see where I'm going with it? These are important things to remember because, like I tell artists all the time, when you understand everyone's job, you know how to build your value respectfully in what you do. When you understand what everybody else does, especially when you're an artist and you have a deal or you have a producer or you have an A&R, these people are working on behalf of you. Not just work for you, they working on behalf of you. So you have to understand what they actually do so you know their value to you and you know their value in the industry eventually, because some of the dopest producers, it's not just about the music, it's about how they're able to put together elements because they're working on behalf of you. You get what I'm saying? Now, I say all of that to say there are some moments when the producer is also the A&R. They're both. They handle two sets of jobs, and that's a lot of work. Listen to what I said about what a producer does and what an A&R does. Sometimes they facilitate both. Imagine all of those tasks that have to be done to make the artist the image that they need to be, and also the music to be stellar and the music to be fire. Because the music got to be fire to give the artist a chance. It ain't just about the image. Listen, I don't care what artist you pick. If you think they just going to get by on image, you're sadly mistaken. I don't care what style they have. I don't care what's going on. If they don't put in the work, if they team don't put in the work, if you do not have the right musical works, the right songs, the right records, the right album, it's not going nowhere. You may get away with a little single real quick. Oh, I'm on. You're not going to sustain. And music, when you're in this music business, being able to sustain is where the real money is. Let's just be clear. Being able to sustain hit records, chart-topping records, records that hold weight, records that translate, records that live longer than yourself, that's when you're doing the right thing. I've been blessed to be a part of a record that will exist past my time and feed my kids. I've been blessed to have a record and be a part of that. Let's get back to it. Irv Gotti was both. Irv Gotti was a producer and an A&R. He did both. The acts that you've seen come from him. Let's just talk about one. Mike Geronimo. This is early days. Early days when Irv Gotti was producing. He produced the main single, the single that everybody knows from Mike Geronimo. He produced a lot of Mike Geronimo's album. This is his first win of becoming a producer, working for the labels and things like that. I don't have to get into all the homework of what happened during that time. Y'all got a bunch of videos on YouTube that's going to tell you the life of Irv Gotti. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not here to explain that. I'm here to talk to y'all about why somebody like Irv Gotti is so important to the game, and we're losing them. We need more of these guys. Mike Geronimo had his best years with Irv Gotti. DMX. Irv Gotti produced a lot of DMX's album. He was the one who got him signed. He's the one that put him on, that gave him the ultimate shot. Remember, Jay-Z was on top of the world at the time. Big had just passed. Jay-Z came into fruition. You know, he was doing his thing with Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? Puff Daddy was doing what he was doing. You feel me? Irv Gotti took a chance on a guy from Yonkers. Gritty and grimy. And remember, in that time, if y'all was in that time, y'all remember that was shiny suit time. That was all the shiny suit time. That was the Mace, the Puff Daddy, the Jay-Z. Even Jay-Z had to succumb to a little bit of the flash and all that. You know what Irv Gotti said? You know what Irv Gotti did? And Irv Gotti produced for Jay-Z as well. That's on his ticket. But you know what Irv Gotti said? He said, hey, yo, X, we not finna do none of that shiny suit shit. We finna get it out the mud. That gritty rap that you present, we gonna keep doing that. That's all we doing. We not putting on no shiny suits for nobody. We giving them the raw, real, and direct. We gonna give them hits though, but we gonna give them hits your way, not their way. Get At Me Dog comes out, goes nuts. That was one of the very last videos or very last images of the legendary The Tunnel in New York. The Tunnel was before my time, but boy, did I hear about it. Boy, did I hear about the stories. The Tunnel was that club that if you burned down the Tunnel, if you did your thing at the Tunnel, you can almost guarantee in 6 months you'll be signed to a deal. And in that time, getting signed to a deal was a very big thing. And the Tunnel was one of those places, if you was in New York and you was tearing shit up and you did the Tunnel, you would be signed within 6 months of grazing that stage at the Tunnel. Ask the people that was in the Tunnel from that time if I'm lying. Ask them if I'm lying. DMX does Get At Me Dog, the video. It goes nuts. Then he follows it up with his #1 smash ever, Rough Riders Anthem. You already know when you hear that, it's time to go crazy. It's time to go up. You already know. Stop. Drop. Shut them down. Open up. Shut up. Make you want to break something. Y'all seen that video? Listen, this is what I want y'all to do. When this is done, I want y'all to go watch Rough Riders Anthem music video. I want y'all to go watch that when y'all done watching this. So y'all can feel the energy and effect of those bikes rolling around. The dogs is out. You know what I'm saying? New York in his prime. He goes crazy. Drops the album, Dark Hell is Hot. This is all Irv Gotti doing. Listen, this is all Irv Gotti doing. Swizz Beatz made Rough Riders Anthem, but Irv Gotti was one of the executive producers or producers that was guiding this whole ship, along with DNY. Shout out to DNY. You know what I'm saying? The owners of Rough Riders. Shout out to them. But he's helping guide this ship. Now we got this monster of an artist, DMX, tearing shit up, and everybody else shiny suiting. They doing all the shiny suit shit. But you got this gritty cat doing his thing. Producing, putting the songs together. DMX's image, his brand. He gritty. He wearing overalls. He got his shirt off. He got the dog chain. He got the dogs with him. He's gritty. His voice is rough and gritty. He like, yo, don't pacify that. Use that. When you see him on stage, he performing his ass off. He running around, sweat dripping. And then at the very end, he give you a prayer and he watch. Listen, if you ever seen a DMX show, he's going to give you an hour to an hour and a half of greatness, of great performing. He not going to stop. He not going to slow down, except for one part. One part is when he grabbed that microphone and the lights get low, and without no music, without nothing, he gives you a prayer. He speaks to God directly from the stage. And when I tell you, there's thousands of people that just went from knocking their heads against each other's arms to literally crying where they stand. They're crying where they stand as he speaks this prayer over everybody. He's praying for everybody. I've never in my life ever seen somebody rock a crowd so hard and then sit there and pray for everyone. And not just a simple prayer, not a prayer that you do at your dinner table. This is a prayer that he's constructed from his own thoughts and his own experiences and his own heart. And he gives it to you right on stage. You don't know what emotion to have at that concert. It's been documented that Jay-Z talks about those moments of trying to perform after DMX. It's hard to do. It's hard for him to do that. He had to step the level of his performance game up because of somebody like DMX. Somebody that Irv Gotti has helped craft his image, his brand, his music, his style, his energy. Come on, man. What we talking about? And then you get to Ja Rule. Oh, you think Ja Rule is not one of the greatest artists in hip-hop history? You think he ain't got 2.5 hours full of bops that men and women gonna be singing the whole damn night? He ain't gotta do a B-side filler at all if he don't want to. He probably gonna do it for the culture. But he does not have to do a B-side underground record ever in his life when he get on stage. It could be all pop, all bops. And not to mention slappers, they're all number ones. It's a record that he's went number one off of. On Billboard, platinum, double platinum, triple platinum. Went crazy. Once again, that's Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti saying to Ja Rule, them having conversations, hey, let's do it for the ladies. I know you a thug, nigga, but let's do it for the ladies. Remember what Pac said? He said, I make music for the ladies. Let's do that a gazillion times. Number one after number one after number one after number one after number one. Then he started writing number ones for people. Fat Joe, what's love got to do with it? What that sound like? Who you think produced that? Irv Gotti. Who wrote that? Ja Rule. Come on, man. Y'all, no disrespect to y'all, but a lot of y'all be thinking about the 50 Cent Ja Rule beef a lot when you mention Ja Rule. But let's be 100% clear. 50 was hating on that situation because Ja Rule was going too crazy. You know what 50 said? 50 said, hey, Ja Rule going too crazy. I got to get some of that. I got to diss him to get him off his rocker. Because guess what 50 Cent did? As soon as he got Ja Rule off his rocker, hey, I'm finna do some singing on my hooks. I'm finna do what Ja Rule do. I'm just saying. 50 don't come after me. I don't want no smoke. Just trying to keep it 100. I don't want no smoke, Fifth. Just keep it in 100. You started singing on them records too, because you already knew. You got to do it for the ladies. You got to do it for the ladies. Irv Gotti. That's Irv Gotti. That's his mentality. He knew Ja Rule was a thug. He knew he got street stories. He know he got stories to talk about women from a perspective of, I'm a thug and I deal with a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? So what better way? He like, oh, we finna get a singer to come sing the hook with you because you writing these hooks. Sometimes you can sing it by yourself. Sometimes we're going to put a singer that undertone, hence J-Lo and Ja Rule, hence Ashanti and Ja Rule. Yeah. We're going to put those undertones under there. Number one after number one after number one. That's Irv Gotti's doing. That's him moving those pieces. That's him working with those producers, making sure that the music sounds stellar every time. It's the same song, but it's not the same song. Because it don't sound the same, but it feels the same. I'm going to say it again. It's the same song, but it's not the same song. It don't sound the same, but it feels the same. That's how you keep making hit records constantly. It's the right BPMs. Shout out to DJ Head. He always talk about BPMs. It's the right BPMs for radio, and it's slap. Then we get to Ashanti. Oh, we don't just do rappers. Irv Gotti ain't just dealt with the rap. He hit the R&B button, boop, 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 a million times. Let's get somebody who hasn't had an opportunity to be a star. Because even though DMX, he was rapping in the hood for a long time, he's getting himself, hood polish. You work on your craft. Ja Rule, same thing. He's been a part of groups and things like that, Cash Money Click and things like that before he got to be a solo artist and working with Irv Gotti. So he's been a little bit polished. You get somebody like Ashanti that's fresh off the I don't know what, and you say, come on, let's go. Let's make you a star. Let's make you the number one star. And listen, I can't count how many of my homegirls I know that sing Ashanti from left to right. Now, I'm going to give you some quick game. And this is no disrespect to Ashanti at all. But singers are hard to work with. Not just because, I'm not saying that they're headaches. I'm saying that working with a singer, it takes a lot of work. There's a lot that goes into making R&B music. The production has to be right. The singer's voice has to be right. The writing has to be on point. It's a lot of elements that make R&B music what it is. Just saying. So Irv Gotti had to work countless days and hours on top of whatever attitude anybody in the building had, because he still got to manage the attitudes too. The musicians, the songwriters, the rappers, the singers, you got to manage all of those mental people who are creative, people who sometimes leave they households or, leave situations, leave jobs in order to pursue music. So they already got a chip on their shoulder. You got to manage all of that. You have to give them hope. You got to give them motivation. You got to give them an opportunity. You got to do so many things. And then you got to make a hit record. And then you got to make a hit record. You're doing a lot. It's a lot to be done. But Irv Gotti did it. Producers and A&Rs like Irv Gotti did it. And they gave you hit after hit after hit. It's a lost art. These things are a lost art, y'all. We need more of these producers. Producers like Pharrell, producers like Kanye, producers like Dr. Dre, producers like DJ Khalil, producers like Day One, producers like myself and Badru, Local Astronauts. I'm going to always plug my squad, my team. Y'all need us to guide these musicians and artists and songwriters to create greatness, to create and help their brand, to get them polished so y'all can enjoy great artistry. It's a lost art. Irv Gotti was that guy. Among all the other records that he's produced, just do me a favor. Go look at Irv Gotti's discography and be amazed. Be amazed. The last thing before I go. The reason why I say it's a lost art is because, first off, there are people who are unwilling to give themselves to the mission. Irv Gotti had a mission. People like Dame Dash had a mission. People like Suge Knight had a mission. And they're not going to let anyone or anything divide them from that mission. And the mission is not only to make hit records, but to also help people flourish. That's what we do. We help people flourish in their careers. We're giving people an ultimate chance to be millionaires, to be thousandaires, whatever, billionaires. We're giving that opportunity. We're walking down their careers from beginning to end. I don't think y'all understand. I am a creator of walking down artists from not knowing anything to knowing how to run their own companies. Let's talk about it. If it wasn't for Irv Gotti, we probably wouldn't have had DMX. We probably wouldn't have had Mike Geronimo. We probably wouldn't have had Ja Rule the way we had Ja Rule. We probably wouldn't have had Ashanti the way we had Ashanti. You feel me? At the end of the day, these producers and these A&Rs go above and beyond for the mission of making somebody great. You think the person who's on the journey to be great is a great journey? No. That's a great journey. But think about the people who's helping this person create the journey. This journey needs to be created so they can walk that path. We're paving the way. We're building the railroad tracks for the train to go on. We're building the road so this car with these artists can drive through. We're doing that. And I'm saying we because I believe in my soul and my heart, me and my team, Local Astronauts, and my business partner, Badru, I believe that we're on the next wave of those producers and executives and A&Rs that will bring upon the next wave of greatness. I believe that. Shout out to Doughboy. He's another one. an A&R and executive to the streets who does nothing but put together dope records, dope compilations. You know what I mean? My guy, Chase Infinite, another one. I can go on and on. My boy Lefty, another one. Glasses Malone, another one. My boy Silas, another one. There's so many people that are great A&Rs and great producers. Problem, extraordinary producer. And y'all may not believe it, but Jay Worthy, extraordinary executive producer. The man got a vision. Anybody that work with Worthy, they go up. It's real. We need more producers and A&Rs who give a shit about making greatness. Fuck the money. You understand? Fuck the status. Make greatness. Don't bullshit us. This is our culture. This is hip hop. Make greatness. That's what Irv Gotti stood on. Irv Gotti stood on making greatness, undeniably. You couldn't go to him with no mediocre shit. He not having it. That's what his legacy is about. It's about making greatness and staying on it. So when you go back and you listen to Irv Gotti's catalog or discography of the greatness that he created, just remember one thing, that we were in the midst of greatness. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti, man. That's all I got for y'all today, man. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and leave it in the comments. Let me know what's your favorite song from Irv Gotti that he produced. Let me know what's your favorite record, and I'm going to let y'all know my favorite records too. You know what I'm saying? I might even just make a playlist or just like a Irv Gotti or a Murder Inc. playlist. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, let me know, man. Let me know what y'all think. I'm in the comments. I appreciate it, man. Workload.